Hi everyone, it's your girl, Faith Mulosmanaj. I'm a feature filmmaker and a TV and film student here at Howard University. And today I'm joined by a very special guest, Terry Lewis, a man that, along with his other half, Jimmy Jam, has stamped an ineradicable print on music and continues to shift culture over 40 years into his career. And today we are honored to join him in conversation.
Thank you for having me, Faith.
Thank you for being here. Okay, so my first question is if we could just take it back a little bit to Minneapolis. And I want to ask, what impacted you most in your childhood, or what in your early life shaped you most to the person you are today?
Family shaped me probably the most. Community, because back then, in Minneapolis, if you know the demographics, there's very few black people. And kind of the black people had to band together to kind of just have a really tight community. And that was part of it. Then I had a lot of teachers that would look out for me. I had an English teacher who really looked out for me, and I had a couple music teachers that really looked out for me. And certainly all the coaches, because I was an athlete. So athletics was another big part of the formula that molded me, because it taught me teamwork, it taught me hard work, and perseverance. So kind of all those things.
And you played football, right?
I played football, I ran track, I played basketball, I did anything with the ball, basically.
Yeah. And I saw that you said that you wanted to be a doctor.
I wanted to be a doctor.
And
exactly.
And you were really into sports.
Really, really into sport. I love sports because I was competitive. I like to win. That's me. I'm a killer that way. I just want to go get it. And I was state track champion.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
That makes sense.
All city football. Played basketball. I was actually really good at basketball as well, but I just never grew. So,
what was your position?
I played everything. Back in that day, as now, when you play basketball, you just play basketball.
Yeah.
When I was young, I played center because I was one of the bigger kids.
I was a center too.
I was one of the bigger kids,
Yeah.
but everybody just kept going up, and I kept staying the same. So
Yeah.
I ended up being a guard, but I was a 2-3. But in basketball, you are what you guard. So I could guard, 1 through 5, so it didn't matter.
Yeah. Why medicine? Why did you want to do medicine initially?
I love medicine. I love healing. I love helping people. I think the dynamics of medicine just kind of suit me because it's kind of mathematical a little bit, because I'm a math person. And I used to just watch medical things, and I just used to fall in love with medicine that way. So always loved medicine. Still do it. I used to read like the little medical transcripts of what people were doing and where things were going medically. I don't do that anymore.
You're into tech, right?
Oh, I love tech.
Yeah, like what sort of like tech?
I love all tech. Right now we're in the age of AI, so I'm trying to learn more about AI. But anything that comes out, whether it be physical tech, like hardcore tech that way, or soft tech, like software tech, like you log on to websites and that kind of stuff, all the stuff that you do with your applications. I'm less into that, but I like to know what everybody's doing. So I'll always jump right on it and see what it's going to do, and then I kind of fade into the background on it because there's always something new.
Yeah. I think it was interesting in like me studying you a bit is that you embrace the future a lot, is what it feels like. And I feel like that's like you have like a very young spirit in a sense. But I know my teacher, he was telling us the other day, he was like, you guys need to embrace AI as like film students. And I kind of like felt a way about it. And I was like, I had like a mindset, like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to embrace AI. Like, but you seem to be very like, you embrace the future a lot.
Well, either you embrace it or you get left behind. Either you hold on to the car or you get ran over.
Right.
Because it's here and it's not going to go anywhere. Now the question is how to use it for benefit.
Yeah.
How do I use it? The people who said, like, probably about 25, 30 years ago, when I got in the music industry, like 40 something years ago, almost 50 years ago now, well, actually 50 years, but there were no drum machines. There were no synthesizers. You had to have a whole group of people in a room to actually create with. You had to have a drummer. If you wanted a beat, you had to have a piano player if you wanted to play piano. Now you can sequence all those things. And so the drum machine came along. All the drummers said, the drum machine, that's terrible. Yeah, we shouldn't use that, blah, blah, blah. Those drummers lost all the work. They stopped working because they didn't embrace the technology. The people who said, only pianos and real horns are valid, those people lost a lot of work for a long time because technology came along and allowed one individual to do everything. And so you didn't need all these people.
Right.
So, you can't be afraid of it. You have to embrace it and figure out how you're going to incorporate it into what you do.
What do you think about like the art of collaboration in today's times?
I think it's a lost art.
Yeah.
Because now people are too selfish about splitting up the dividends of things. The art of collaboration is everything. I've had a partner for 50 years, never had an argument with him, not one.
And why is that?
Because we think of things in a different terminology. We have disagreements, but disagreements are things that you're trying to solve. Arguments are things that you're trying to win.
Right.
And why would I want somebody that I care about to lose?
Right.
So I don't want him to lose. He doesn't want me to lose. So what we try to do is formulate what's best for both of us. Like there's right, there's wrong, and there's best. And I'll give you a little anecdote for that. The light is green. The bus is coming. You have the light to cross the street. The bus runs the light and kills you. You were right, but it was the wrong time.
Right. Yeah.
The best time is when the bus is down the street and I can make it to the other side safely. So we look for best, not right or wrong. So that's kind of filtered us through a lot of years and a lot of different turmoil and a lot of different changes. Technology comes and goes. Everybody said these technology parts were going to mess up the industry. No, they don't. The only people that can mess it up is us.
Right.
So now we're faced with the new technology, AI. Never been faced with a technology like this before, because it can scrape all the information that you've ever assembled. Every song I've ever done, it can scrape that information up and then formulate something probably better than me in seconds. But it can only do what I've already done. It can't do what I will do. So I'm not going to worry too much about it, but it does need to be kept in its place.
Yeah.
And the stuff that it scrapes, the information that it has, that it uses to assemble its ideas, the people who formulated those ideas should be paid for those ideas. So that's what I'm pushing for.
So it needs to be regulated.
Yeah, everything needs to be regulated, especially a machine. A machine should not take over what a human creates. And that's what's going to happen. They're going to try to do that because it just costs them nothing. It costs us everything.
Yeah, I agree. How do you think that you and your partner Jimmy Jam's career would have fared if you guys had emerged in today's time?
I think we would have been just fine.
Yeah.
Yes, because we get after it. We went for probably 30, 40 years, man, working 18-hour days, 16-hour days. We never stopped working. And we're relentless with it. because we love it. And there's so many different inspirations that come along in your life. Like all the artists that we work with provide us inspiration. So we would have been just fine.
Yeah. At any point in your career, have you felt like you've been like in a box or pigeonholed? Like, how do you continue to stay out of your box or the box?
I never feel like I'm in a box. Like I said, there's too many inspirations that come from outside. I always tell people, I don't think outside the box. I am the box. So I can only be what I want to be. And I never feel like anyone can put me in a certain place because I can do anything. That's just how I feel. Like if I want to write country, I can write country because country is R&B with a little twang on it. So I can do that. I can write pop. What is pop? Pop is just popular. I can do that. I know I can emulate just about anything, but I choose to think ahead and put it, instead of meeting the bar that someone else sets, I try to exceed the bar, you know, and just think past where they're thinking.
Yeah, and I think we're kind of also, some people let others' perception of them limit them.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, so many people have a thing where they get afraid and they cower when someone tells them what they must do, or they have an expectation for them. Or I hate the word potential because that's someone else's measure of your ability. So when people say potential, it's like, you don't know what I can do. God only knows what he put in me, not you.
Right.
And it's not up to you. I used to have that conversation with Prince all the time. It's like, you can't tell me what I'm good at and what I'm not. Because if I choose to be good at it, I'm going to be good at it.
Right.
And there's nothing that you could do about it.
How do you think, I want to hear your take on streaming services and how that affects the music industry and the artists?
Well, streaming services, I guess that's where we are in terms of the distribution of it. It's great to have the ability to latch on to any music at any time, anywhere. But it serves us well in one sense, but it serves us bad in another sense, in that it makes you lazy. And it basically relegates music into this box of things that you just vacuum to. If you like this, you also like that. It doesn't make it special. The experience of music used to be when the discovery used to be, everybody would discover music pretty much at the same time, and then we would share it as a group. And then your friends would bring you records, and you read the credits, and you see the artist, and you'd buy into it, and then everybody would get that record, and everybody would play that record, and then that artist would have a fan base.
Yeah.
It was different. It required something of you. Music nowadays doesn't really require anything of you, other than you just pull up whatever, user friendly app that you want to, and then you get the music, any music from anywhere. What also that does is it gives you too much information. Therefore, you get confused about what you heard. You don't even know what you heard. So it's a little confusing to people. And one thing about people, and it kind of makes music, I guess, less desirable in terms of what its value is, because it's so readily available and it doesn't require anything of you. It's like breathing. Nobody cares about air until they can't breathe.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about water until they can't bathe or drink. It's just the human nature. When it requires something of you, you will run and get a bucket of water.
Yeah.
If there's no water available. But if water's just pouring out of a spigot, we just turn it on and just let it run. We don't even care. We still turn the shower on and let it warm up for 30 minutes.
Right.
And waste it. But, that's just human nature. So I think where music is now, like, people don't necessarily think of music and revere it as much as they used to. because it's so readily available.
Yeah. That's funny. When you said that, I think we were like maybe like the last few, I would say, generation to like have CDs. Because I would remember like if an album came out when we were kids, it was like, oh, like Faith got the album, and then you bring it to school, and then it's like everybody's listening to it,
Yep.
and then you make like mixtapes for your friends, or you try to like sell the CDs.
Yep. Yeah. The share is like the discovery is different.
Yeah.
And now there's music that's been out for years that people discover years later just because there's so much music. Mm-hmm. There's so much noise that you can't even pick out the noise you want.
Right.
It's just everywhere. And, it's great. What it's been great for is just exposing like classic music that's been out before.
Right.
As did sampling. Sampling actually moved that forward as well, taking the old song, sampling that song, and then moving it forward in a new song. It exposes those older artists who probably didn't get the shine that they should have. Mm-hmm. And that part of it is good. I love that part.
Mm-hmm. When people, if people want to sample you, like what is the process of that?
Well, you have to get a license for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to give the person that you sample credit for it. Therefore, they can get paid. Mm-hmm. We've sampled songs before, and and people come up to us later and say, "Hey, man, thank you for sampling that because you paid for my house, or you bought my pool, or whatever the situation is." So it's a respectful thing to do. You don't want someone taking things from you, and I always say you can't want something for someone else that you don't want for yourself.
Right.
Or want something for yourself that you don't want for someone else is what I really mean. Mm-hmm. Because, everybody's like selfish that way in a sense. They think they can get away with things, but if that happened to them, they wouldn't want that to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just to shift a little bit, I know that you're like a man of faith. I know that.
Absolutely.
Yes. So I guess where does that come from?
I think it's in you. I mean, I think spirituality's a part of all of us. We get religious. That's the politics of spiritualism in my eyes. I don't claim to be religious because I'm not into politics, but I believe in God, and I happen to be Christian. Therefore, I believe in Jesus Christ. He's my Lord and Savior, and that's what I am. So that's who I am. So I never get confused about that. That comes from actually people pouring into you, showing you the way, exposing you. Exposure is everything. I had a great aunt that took me to church all the time. She was part of the church. I got into the church. Then my mother made me go to church 3-4 days a week. I was in the choir. I was, so that was just part of life, and churches kind of have fell off over the years now. People don't do it the same, but now you have so many different ways you can get exposed to church because there was no internet church, no church on TV. So now you can get your church a different way. Yeah. But we were always at church. Yeah. That's just was life. That's how life was.
What about your career? Just in your career, what is it like revealed to you about God? Like your whole journey in your career, what has it done for your faith?
Well, it's done nothing for my faith. My career has done nothing for my faith. My faith has done everything for my career because it's the grounding. It's the grounding. It's the thing that keeps you focused on the right things. I create music not to make money. I create music to try to make the world a better place, to give people a sense of relief, a sense of calm. It's not a money thing. I did music for free for a long time, and then somebody said they wanted to pay me for it. I said, "Oh, okay, I'll take it." But that was never the first intention. Our aim is always to do music and leave the world a better place than we found it.
So that's your purpose. What do you believe your purpose is?
That is my purpose.
Yeah.
To leave the world a better place than I found it.
Through music.
through music and other things. It's not just music. Music is just one piece of me. It's like I'm a very complex person, as are you. It's sometimes we just don't realize how complex we are and how many facets that we have. You know, you look at a diamond, you can see it one way and it shines different over here than it shines on the other side. And we're like that too. We shine differently on all sides. There's a lot of sides to us. We just have to be comfortable with exposing it. Like the biggest thing for me, for most people, is they don't learn how to be comfortable being uncomfortable. In this life, you have to go for it. You have a very finite amount of time, and you have a lot of ideas, and you have a lot of talents. And if you don't use them, you lose them. So while
That's scripture.
while you have time, you got to go for it, you know, and you should be working to make the world a better place, because that's what our talents are for.
Is there anything that you'd like to still accomplish?
Oh, plenty.
Yeah.
Plenty. See, because with every accomplishment, it gives you opportunity to give other people a path. So every time we do something well, other people get to walk through that same door. And so I love that. Just giving people opportunity is always like a huge thing for me.
I saw that you recently did the score for Unprisoned.
Yes.
And you guys said it was like kind of scary for you.
Well,
Or it was new.
It's new.
Yeah.
But we've done music for film, but never like television. So it's just something different. But once again, like I say, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable,
Right.
because you just never know how things are going to turn out when you get involved with things. But you know, you just go for it.
Right.
As my daughter used to say, you got to fake it till you make it.
So I just have a few little fun spitfire like questions for you.
Come on with it.
Okay. If you could have been a fly on a wall for any studio session, for any song or album, what would it be?
Oh man, I would have been a fly on the wall for any of the Parliament Funkadelic sessions back in the day,
Okay.
because they were crazy. I would have been a fly on the wall for Quincy Jones sessions, just because I kind of know how they went, but I don't know. You know what I mean? I can only kind of conceive just based on what my knowledge is. So those would probably be my two, because you have opposite ends of the spectrum. You have like the freedom of Funkadelic, Parliament Funkadelic. They were free with everything they did. They were crazy. And then you had the structure that Quincy brought.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. You know, I would have loved to sit in on a lot of the Gamble and Huff sessions and that Philly International sound, and how they came up and were inspired to do what they did. Those are like our mentors. So
Yeah.
and we absolutely adore them. Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff. Yeah.
What is your favorite meal?
My favorite meal? Simple, chicken.
What, like it cooked any way?
I love everything there is about chicken, and just about any way.
Can you cook?
Yeah, absolutely cook.
What's your like star dish?
Whatever I cook is star. You put a star on it. Yeah, no, you know, I eat right now where I am in life. I eat a lot of jerk chicken.
Okay. That's too spicy for me.
Yeah, see, I like jerk chicken.
Yeah. Gotta have my nose running.
I like that. Gotta get that stuff out. Better out than in.
Yeah. What's your all-time starting five in the NBA?
Oh, that's tough. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan. See, Oscar Robertson. Loved him. Man. probably I do all guards because I like the flash.
Yeah, me too.
I love Kobe and Allen Iverson.
Oh my God. I hope you say that. I love Allen Iverson.
Yeah, I got to put AI in there, and there's a lot of great players that I didn't call out that I love. I love KG, I love Tim Duncan, I love a lot of people, but man, I'm a guard, so I love to see people that move the envelope, that make it happen.
I love Allen Iverson.
Yeah,
My favorite player. Who are your do you have any current like NBA players that you really like?
Oh, well, you gotta like Steph Curry. Like,
Yeah. He's the greatest shooter of all time.
yeah, you gotta like LeBron. I mean, hell, a lot of great players, man. It's just the players that move you. Like, I used to love to watch. I used to love going to the NBA All-Star games just to watch what AI would do when he would be a man among men.
Yeah, right.
Like, they would go into halftime and they'd be down for 30 points. Then they come out second half and say, let's play. And they come all the way back and win. Mm-hmm. And he'd be throwing it down, just going off, just crazy.
He's a beast. I'm jealous. I wish I would have been able to see him live.
Oh man, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But I hate to say it, but they don't make them like that anymore. But the game, it's not that they don't make them like that; it's they don't make them be like that anymore because the game has changed. The game is just a different game. It's not as physical. There's just a lot of rules that protect the players. There were no rules to protect the players. The players just played back in the day. So it's just a little different.
What do you think about how the NBA All-Star games are today?
Well, I think All-Star games now are just kind of whack.
Yeah.
Because everybody's trying not to get hurt.
Or get embarrassed.
Well, I don't even think they care about getting embarrassed. That's just part of the game. But if you look at the NFL All-Star game, well, it turned into it went soft. Nobody really hit anybody, and then they just said, well, let's not even hit. Let's play flag. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's terrible.
Yeah.
And then, now the NBA All-Star game, everybody's up and down. The only one that they play hard in hockey, though. They do play hard in hockey. And that's very entertaining. But, the NBA All-Star game is just an up and down game. Everybody's just seeing. I think they made 200 points this time. Mm-hmm. Nobody played any defense.
Yeah, no.
And, it's just kind of hard to watch.
But I was saying I do commend Jaylen Brown for entering the dunk contest. Because I'm saying I think a lot of superstars are scared to go into contests like that.
Yeah, probably. I don't know what that's about. Everybody can jump and everybody can throw the ball down. I mean, usually, historically, smaller guys have won the dunk contest. Yeah. Just because, it looks better when a short man dunks. Mm-hmm. It's just a better look, but back in the day, nobody cared about that. Everybody wants to see the stars do it. That's basically, tradition from historically. Mm-hmm. But now, they have people like you don't even know. They have kids that don't even play in the NBA doing it. And they're super dope, but there's guys that you could get, they have like dunk contests all over the United States with people doing like crazy dunks.
Right.
But they're not playing like 82 games a year.
Yeah.
And they're just dunking. And that's, that's only one part of the game.
Mm-hmm. Is there ever a question that you wish somebody would like ask you that you've never been asked before that you're like,
No, I don't. Yeah. I don't really aspire to be asked anything.
Yeah.
Because I already know the answers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and if there's something that I want to express, I just express it, whether you like it or not. And that's kind of just me. But I grew up in Vernetta's house. So Vernetta didn't allow you to think too much. She just going to give it to you straight, no chaser. She didn't care about how you felt. You was going to get it. Mm-hmm. So I have a little bit of that in me. And I think everybody needs a little healthy dose of that. I think we live in an age right now where people aspire too much for likes. And I don't necessarily care who likes me. But we all should be striving to be respectful and be respected.
I agree. And then to end it off, what's your favorite scripture?
I probably have a lot, but the one that I really like is 2 Timothy 2:15. Study to show thyself approved before God. But I apply that to everything. If you want to show your worth and your value in something, you have to study. You have to know the players. You can't play chess unless you know the rules. You have to know what the players do. You know, you have to know the moves. And if you apply that scripture to life, it broadens your life so much and enriches your life so much. So whatever I do, I study. If I'm working with an artist, I study that artist. I look at what they've done historically. If they haven't done anything historically, I listen to all the things that they have done and figure out what I like about them, and I hone in on that. And then I try to create based on that thing that makes me feel that visceral feeling, that thing that makes my blood boil. That's how I do things. A lot of people just take one off the shelf and throw it in the ring, and I can't do that.
Right.
That's not how we've ever done it. Because if I look at you, here you are, Faith. I see you. We talk, we eat dinner, we laugh, we joke, we find out a little bit about you, and then like a tailor, we're measuring you. We're measuring you as who you are, and then what we do is we provide the thread that puts together this suit, whatever we're going to make for you. That's our process, you know. But we usually don't try to impose our will on anything or anyone. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear the words that come out of your mouth. I want to hear how you feel about whatever.
I love that. Well, thank you so much. I'm so honored and I'm so glad and humbled that you sat down with me and had a conversation.
Well, girl,
today.
you're my girl. Now stop it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys later.
Peace out.
Could you disprove, for example, that the Martians have bred a race of synthetic humans to save themselves from extinction?